Hello, YouTube viewers. It's Vincent Michael, bringing you a new podcast from my show called Are They Both the Same Thing? And this, like always, this podcast is brought to you by Screw Productions. And like always, I'm going to speak very loudly, very clearly, and very slowly in case you don't understand it. Now, let's get into this podcast. Are Charlie Brown and Arthur both the same thing? No, let's start off with Charlie Brown. Charlie Brown is one of the most popular comic book strips in the world, even to this day. Now, Charlie Brown was created by Charles M. Zetsa. Now, Charlie Brown first appeared in the newspaper in the newspaper comic strip section in October the 2nd, 1950. Ever since Charlie Brown is a comic is that day, it became overnight. It became the most popular comic strip ever. Now, and up to February 13, 2000, and to this day, Charlie Brown, the Charlie Brown comic book strip is still going, even in reruns. So basically, if you read the Daily News and the comic strip section, a lot of those comic strips were based on the old comic strips that used to run in, but there's just new updated versions of that. Anyway, Charlie's sister. Anyway, since Charles called Charlie Brown character. Now, Charlie Brown is a boy who the comic strip is about Charlie Brown, who's the average boy who seems to be has some unusual bad luck and sometimes good luck. It follows the adventures of his friend Peppermint Patty, Lucy, his sister Pigpen, his friend Lioness, etc., and his dog Snoopy, also known as Joe Cool. Basically, that's what the whole comic strip is about. And this comic strip became so popular Charles turned Charlie Brown into a live TV show. After Charles made Charlie Brown into holiday specials, such as the first Charlie Brown Charlie Brown Peanuts game special called Charlie Brown's Christmas, Charlie Brown Thanksgiving, and Charlie Brown Halloween, and Charlie Brown Valentine's Day. These holiday specials became so famous, and to this day, Channel 7 show on Valentine's Day, on Thanksgiving, and on Halloween, and on Christmas. These specials are played every year. Yeah, according to the stuff of these specials, Charles was also to turn Charlie Brown into a TV show. But at first, Charles was very hesitated to making Charlie Brown into a TV show, but a little convincing, he decided to do a Charlie Brown TV show. Now, the title of the Charlie Brown TV show is The Adventures of Charlie Brown and his dog Snoopy in the Peanuts game. But that was supposed to be the original title of the show, but they was like, let's just call it Charlie Brown and his dog Snoopy. Now, that show only lasted to 2 seasons and only had 18 episodes. The show started in September the 17th, 1983, and ended in August the 3rd, 1968. And so the show did got picked up by Nickelodeon, and he retired the show. You're on Nickelodeon, Charlie Brown and the Peanuts Gang, and they show it in reruns. Anyway, Charlie Brown is the most popular. It's considered to be the world's most popular comic strip in the world to this day. Now, a new Charlie Brown movie is supposed to. A CGI new Charlie Brown movie is supposed to come out this November 6th, 2015. Now, let's get into Arthur. Arthur is a children's book series. Arthur started off as a children's book series that was turned into a very popular cartoon series on Channel 13. Now, the creator of Arthur is named Mark Brown. Now, Arthur is considered to be one of the top 10 children's book series of all time that was turned into a TV series. Now, recently, after the first episode of aired on Channel 13 in September the 2nd, 2016, and to this day, Arthur is still going on. Now, Arthur's right now is right now it's about to start its ninth season. It's about to start its ninth season. Over 217 episodes of Arthur been aired on Channel 13. Now, Arthur is the second. Arthur is the longest children's animation series on Channel 13, and the second oldest Channel 13 TV series of all time, being with Sesame Street and Barney. Now, Arthur basically Arthur is based off the childhood of Mark Brown, the creator of Arthur, based off his childhood. So basically, that's not Arthur in a nutshell. Now, let's see what they both have in common. Arthur and Charlie Brown last year always wearing yellow shirts. Always wearing yellow shirts, so yellow is Arthur and Charlie Brown's favorite color. Also, Arthur and Charlie Brown both have sisters. Charlie Brown has one sister, Arthur has two sisters, but either way, Arthur and Charlie Brown both have sisters. Anyway, Arthur and Charlie Brown both have dogs. Most of Arthur and Charlie Brown's adventures does focus on Charlie Brown and his friends, and on Arthur and Charlie Brown and their friends. Now, both Arthur and Charlie Brown are based off their creator's childhood. So basically, Arthur is based off Mark Brown's childhood, and Charlie Brown is based off Charles N. Schwartz's childhood. Now let's what they see. Now let's get into what they don't have in common. Arthur is an aardvark. So Charlie Brown is a human. So everybody Arthur's world is based off the animal. Based off the animal future, or based off the humanoid animal. Charlie Brown, the Peanuts Gang, basically focus on Charlie Brown, on the adventures of Charlie Brown and his friends and his dog Snoopy. Arthur focus not only focus on his focus on Arthur and his friends and family, also on animals and also on animals who live in Elwood City. Now I'm like. Now, what was I about to say? Oh, yeah. Charlie Brown unlike Charlie Brown, the Arthur series the Arthur TV series does educate you, does educate children about different cultures, different religions, and different educates the Arthur TV series educate children about culture, different religion, about accepting people to other, accepting people who they are, and and etc. Charlie Brown, basically, it's just a comic strip. It's just a comic strip that's turned into a comedy cartoon series. So basically, that's it for they don't have in common. So basically, are they both the same thing? Yes, they are. Basically Arthur, Charlie Brown and the Peanuts game is just the same as Arthur. It's the same as Arthur. Now, tune in next time. I have a very special. Come back next time. I have a very special podcast for all the special podcast about are they both the same thing. So anyway, this is Cynthia and Michael signing off. 1,